A honeybee just landed on me. Hi. So I am back in the garden that if you haven't watched me before, hello, I'm Rosanna, musician and gardener, living in the North Pennines in Weardale. So I've come back to a garden this morning that I redesigned April of last year, and I look after this garden as regularly as I can. It's a holiday cottage, so it's not as regular as I would like it to be, but yeah, do what we can. So I thought I would just show you how things have progressed since maybe 5-6 weeks ago. It was last year, longer than that, a couple of months ago. Things have changed loads. We've had a drought, a massive drought, loads of heat, which is very unusual for the UK. So things are really different to how they normally would be mid-August. It's kind of looking more September-y. Everything feels more September-y actually. It's an overcast day but quite warm, so I'm just going to have a little pootle round and take you with me while I garden. So, hello chickens. That's one thing I have to contend with in this garden. Hens laying their eggs everywhere, and they don't even belong to this house. So I'm doing my little walk around that I always do when I come to a garden, and the first thing is that I'd been warned about before I came. This tree is down. So it's a hydrangea which is obviously snapped. We haven't had particularly high wind, so it seems a bit strange. Whoop, sorry, camera angles help. So yeah, it's just snapped right down at the base nearly. So I'm gonna have to take all of this away. It's actually most of the tree, so it's gonna be a slightly odd shaped tree from now on. And then the rest of the garden's looking pretty good. Not much to do. How gorgeous is that red? Really, really beautiful. Desperate to get rid of that last bit of astroturf. It's very upsetting. Wow, yeah, so you can see how dry things have been. Things have died under there, not got enough water. Gosh. Lupins, very different to last time I was here, gone to seed now. So I might collect some of that seed for using next year. In fact, I most definitely will. Some butterflies. Lots of droofiness that needs cutting back. Luckily, a lady's mantle, that can all be cut back now. So lady's mantle and valerian are very prolific, so they need keeping in check. They will take over spaces if they're allowed, and the lupins as well actually, which is great for filling space if you want space filled. These geraniums have filled out beautifully since last summer. So last summer there was bare soil at the back, so I just took some of the geraniums and spread them to the back, and now they've spread out and provided beautiful ground cover for that area. Let's see around here. Hostas looking gorgeous despite the lack of rain. That's awesome because they're in this shade. That's what we like to see. Gosh, but that tree is not happy. Wow, it's incredible. It makes gardening a very different thing. This heat's like new things to learn. We need to learn from non-Mediterranean counterparts. Mullein growing here, which is awesome. I might get some for my garden actually. Beautiful medicinal, a plant with medicinal properties. So this back garden was getting too full in last time I was here, and now is again. Needs lots of cutting back, needs deadheading. These lupins need dividing. They're going to flower again, so it's kind of not the right time to divide, but they're really taking over, so I might just cut back a little bit. Got some gosh, my brain's not working today. Mildew, powdery mildew on the lupins, so they're not particularly healthy, and the soil is actually very, very loamy, like the opposite of clay, sandy. Autistic burnout, brain not working. So you can see the new growth on the lupin's really nice and healthy, but this old stuff will cut right back and get rid of it because the powdery mildew will spread. Some lovely things happening here, but all the old stuff needs removing. Black spot on the roses like last time, that's because the soil quality needs improving. So yeah, I'm going to have a prune and a cut back. Very pretty. And again, just look at the view. So I don't have a bow saw with me, annoyingly. I've got my Japanese thingy. I'm not going to manage with words today. One of these Japanese knives. But I think it should be okay because the wood is so, let me just swap this. The wood's so rotten and delicate that actually this will be fine for cutting it, I think. So I'm going to give it a go. Something else, isn't there? Someone else pissed those chickens right off. So I always intend to have a rest. I'm like, right, I've done a big thing, my body needs to stop now. And then I see something else that it needs doing and I get straight on because ADHD. But burnout is teaching me that I need to be careful. I have no choice but to be careful. And that's on various different levels: emotional, sensorial and physical. And the physical stuff's great for my ADHD because it's getting my body working, it's good for my dopamine. But also I have a body which has its limits. I'm 44, not 24, and I forget that. I push it in ways that I did when I was 24 and didn't think about it, and now I do have to think about it, which is incredibly annoying. So I'm sitting on the grass for a second talking to you to make myself stop. So I've got the tree tidied away, and now I'm discovering all the bits where the chickens have been sitting, rootling around. Sorry. Yeah, bits where the chickens have been rootling around or sitting to make nests and they've squashed things. So I'm gonna cut back this thyme. Not thyme, it's oregano or marjoram. Yeah, this needs cutting back, it's all been squashed. So I'm gonna have a good choppity chop. See what we got to deal with here? You guys. It's not your garden. Hi, Mama. Could you maybe like go back next door and stop squashing all the plants? One thing I really notice, terrible place to have a camera, when I'm doing someone else's garden, when I'm being paid to garden, I garden at the speed of light because I'm like, I'm being paid for this, I need to be super speedy because I'm conscientious and I'm respecting this person's, the fact this person's paying me. And actually speed, more haste, less speed, yeah, like I'm whopping around because I want to be efficient. But if I just went a fraction slower, 10% slower, I would be able to garden for longer because I would deal with my energy better, I'd spread out my energy. And also then I would notice more, actually. Kind of lesson for life, isn't it? But it's a strange mentality which I hadn't noticed until really recently that I do when I'm being paid to garden. When I'm gardening for myself, I take my time, do a bit of this and a bit of that, and I just pilly around, whatever that means, pootle around. But this is like I'm being paid. It's a job. And I'm sure Liz, who pays me to do this, might be watching, like, doesn't need that from me. She wants the job well done. She wants the garden to look good. So if I went even 5% slower, didn't push my body so hard, it probably would be better for everybody. So these lupins are very much over, gone to seed. I'm going to collect the seed for my own garden. They can serve to be cut right back, nice and hard. They'll come from threshed out right from the ground, not from this year's growth, so that can be cut right back. But I might not take it all back because it's providing some nice structure right now, and actually over winter this kind of habitat is great for insects, so I might leave some and take some. I'm getting a little bit tired. So I've finished in the front garden, and I'm going to do some cutting back in the back before I go and get some lunch. The catnip needs some serious cutting back. That can serve to be cut all the way down. Sorry, my gimbal's wonky. And yeah, like I said before, the lupins need cutting right back. I'm tired, so I'm probably not going to film anymore, so I might just film the finished result and then go and have a lunch and a nap. Right, I am done. Whew. I don't know if you, either if you're autistic or ADHD or know anyone neurodivergent. The whole thing of discovering it later in life is a whole thing, because clearly I've had the struggles I have now my whole life. I just couldn't have named them, and I didn't know why I struggled with depression, anxiety, discombobulation. It's because I didn't yet understand my brain system. And one of the things I really struggle with is called interoception, which is knowing your body's, things that happen inside your body. So things like hunger, thirst, needing the toilet, I don't register until they're absolute emergencies. So I push my body to the limit without knowing I'm doing that, and then all of a sudden I crash. Now I'm aware of it. I have the capability, in theory, of checking in with myself. So I have an alarm on my phone every 3 hours at the moment to check in. Do I need the toilet? Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Such basic human things. I can run 3 successful businesses, but I cannot do the basic human functions. So that's the whole thing. So I have pushed my body too hard, but at least I'm starting to recognise. My alarm just went off at 1 o'clock and I did not pause it. I sat down and I finished now, and I'm going to go. So I'm going to just show you what I've done in this back garden. Just had a quick tidy round and then I am going home. So the lupins were getting crazy and were full of powdery mildew, so I've taken some out and I've cut some right back. So we've just got some lovely new growth coming here from 2 plants, but everything else I've cut right back or taken away. The phlox I've deadheaded. There's just some gorgeous flowers still not quite ready to be cut back, but they'll be over soon. The rose still got a bit of black spot, so the soil still needs improving, but it's got some lovely new growth on it, which is healthy, so I'm happy with that. Black spot won't totally kill a plant unless you let it take over. If you take away the diseased leaves, because it spreads topically, then it should be okay as long as you're feeding it underneath. So I've cut back lots of growth here. This gorgeous scabious, massive heads, flower heads, I've cut right back. And rogue couch grass. Yeah, this was all cutting back. This rose is lovely and healthy. It's not put on much growth this year. It's not got very tall, but it's still healthy. So it's all good. And this area I've just thinned it out a bit. Some foxgloves have self-seeded themselves, so I've kind of spread those around a bit and I'll keep an eye on them. But they flower the year after, biennials, so they're going to flower next year. this area is all pretty lovely. This area, just been cutting back some acrolegia. So this really looks to me like a September garden, and it just shows that we're going to have to garden very differently to how we have done before with the effects of climate change. It's just an inevitable thing that we're going to have to learn to adapt to. So growing plants that are more drought tolerant, being really careful with our soil, mulching, because we are not going to be able to water as much as is needed. So it's dealing with the problem from the ground up, as it were. Right, I'm going home now. Have a nice day.